Imagine competing on a TV show not once, not twice, but 3 times. And third time's the charm. And you finally win the competition to only be stripped of your crown and never getting the true recognition as the winner. Or imagine being shaved bald on national television only for one of the sponsors of the competition to be a hair care brand, meaning you never had a true shot at winning in the first place. Hello. Welcome to my channel, TV-DICTION, where I talk about all my latest TV obsessions. And in this video, we'll be talking about episode 10 of Dark Side of Reality, focusing on America's Next Top Model. In recent years, there have been much discourse and exposés on, the true darkness that is really behind, Hollywood or these reality shows. Well, Vice TV has a series where they reveal some of the dark sides to certain reality shows or some of the most popular reality shows that we used to watch. You can watch it either on Hulu or Philo, I believe. And their latest episode was discussing America's Next Top Model. As a millennial, baby, I was sad to watch America's Next Top Model, okay? Sad. I wanted to see the makeovers. I wanted to see the challenges. I wanted to see the go-sees. And I also wanted to see the cat fights. I was young. Please don't judge. What's that TikTok challenge now? We listen and we don't judge. I wanted to see who won that 17 magazine spread, that cover girl contract, and of course that $100,000 prize, okay? There are certain moments that are of that show that are like etched into our brains and core memories, such as Eva Marcel in that spider picture, which led her to winning that competition. Like that, everybody, when they see Eva to this day, we think about that picture. Like, that's how amazing that picture was, Eva did her thing with that. Even now, every time I see Yaya DaCosta pop up on my TV screen, because she's killing it, with her acting career. She was just on Our Kind of People, and I think she's on a medical show now. Girl, we see you out there. I think of her and Eva and her being the runner-up to America's Next Top Model. We got introduced to two talents such as these through America's Next Top Model. America's Next Top Model premiered in 2003, so peak reality TV time on the UPN network. The face of the show was Tyra Banks, of course, the supermodel, and it was also produced by Ken Mock of Making the Band, and he was chosen as one of the producers because he was familiar with reality shows that won real prizes, such as Making the Band, where we got to see actual band and groups form, such as Day 26 and Danity Kane, who, pursued actual careers outside of the competition show. Therefore, he was an expert of sorts. According to Andrew Peterson, a creative producer of America's Next Top Model from seasons 15 through 20, Tyra's vision for America's Next Top Model was for it to be a blend of American Idol meets the real world, but with models, all living together. Y'all, I was taken aback when I saw Janice Dickinson pop up on that screen. I haven't seen her in ages, and I low-key thought she passed away. I am sorry, Miss Dickinson. I don't know why I thought that, but I just really haven't seen you in forever. Like, that was the name that when I seen her pop up on the screen, I was like, damn, she's still alive? Crazy. But anyway, she was a part of the documentary, and she gave her, parts of the show here and there. But the main focus of the show were 4 former contestants of the show: Lisa D'Amato of Cycle 5 and All-Star Cycle 17, Angelique Preston of Cycle 12, 14, and 17, Sarah Hotswan of Cycle 9, Jenna Turner, and she was part of the final cycle of the show. My heart broke for Jenna as she, spoke about not being ready for her hair to be shaved like that in real life, let alone TV. And I'm not really familiar with her cycle, as I stopped watching America's Next Top Model long before the final season. Out of the mouth of Janice Dickinson herself, she says that, some of the girls were definitely poked, at their trauma for the heck of the show, for the entertainment value of it all. And that is so sad to think about, like your trauma being on display for the entertainment of others. Like, that is really crazy to just think about. Lisa D'Amato speaks of one of the challenges where they had to crawl in manure, and then she had a realization that, this challenge derived from her telling the traumatic story of how her grandmother, had explosive diarrhea during her grandfather's funeral, and how she was the one who had to, escort her grandma to the restroom and, take care of her. And, it ended up getting everywhere, even, on her. And she talked about how, that visibly traumatized her because, of course, she's grieving her grandfather, and then in that same moment her grandma's going through this, and it's like, I couldn't even imagine the emotions. Hell, even talking about it now, you still see that she got choked up about it, and that was so many years ago. And her realizing that, her telling the one of the interviewers that, and then for it to now be turned into a challenge, I couldn't even imagine what she was going through, because this was traumatic for her, and then basically having to relive it in some sorts. And that is wild. Looking at Sarah back then during her cycle, it's completely insane how she was classified as plus size, or on the slimmer side of being plus size, as Tyra phrased it. It's completely insane. There was actually no ounce of fat on that girl, for real. Like, she was not big. Like, okay, compared to the other girls, was she, visibly different? Yes. But she was not fat. Her face was a little chubby, yes, but she was not fat. Sarah was not fat. And that, like, watching that, I was like, damn, we really used to tune in and watch these people, classify these people as plus sized, and they weren't really big. Like, the early 2000s was crazy. According to Lisa, they would use all the traumas from the interviews to gain an emotional response out of them, and then for them to switch the topic and edit it, that their response to the traumatic events that they were expressing was to another topic. For instance, she recalls them asking her, do you feel the same way like you did when your mom told you to kill yourself? Then, as she's visibly upset by this and in tears, they switched the conversation up and asked her, like, how are you going to walk into this next challenge or photo shoot? And, of course, her still emotional off that one answer of that previous question. She was, sobbing and replied, like, yes, with confidence. But we, the viewers, saw it as, her, breaking down and feeling nervous about the photo shoot of that upcoming challenge. But in reality, they really just asked her a very heavy question. And I'm like, that is wild to just blatantly ask somebody and then switch the topic as if, what they were going through really didn't matter. You really just wanted that shock factor. You really just wanted that emotional response out of them. You bought it up and really didn't give them room to express how they really felt about that. Because that's really insane to ask somebody that. Like, for real, them girls were going through it under America's Next Top Model. Jenna also recalls being in an interview room for 7 hours by herself with 3 interviewers, and her having to beg one of the interviewers to stop asking, her questions about being suicidal. And then when she finally, broke down and told them, like, she don't want to talk about that anymore, they used that portion of her literally pleading to, like, change the topic and not talk about her being suicidal. They edited that portion in to reflect as if, that was her response to losing the competition, when in reality, no, they kept on asking her about her feeling suicidal until she really broke down and was like, please stop asking me about that. I don't want to talk about this anymore. But no, they used that clip and it was like, after she lost, as if that's the way she reacted to losing, which, probably made her seem like she was a sore loser of sorts. And, that was so unfair to her. I'm not gonna lie, like really watching this, my heart went out to those four ladies for real, actually. And any of all, the American Next Top Model contestants who been, went through that type of torment and stuff, not only were, their trauma being put on display, to the interviewers and being used as, bites for the show and stuff, them girls were literally living like a, college sorority house. Baby, they was not getting fed. They was talking about they were surviving off of cereal and ramen noodles. No wonder tensions were high, okay? People were emotional and they were starving. Yeah, and then you put them all in a room together. Of course, things are going to get catty. They also talk about how literally everything in that house was under 24/7 surveillance. They talking about they had microphones behind the toilet seats. Like, imagine having to relieve yourself and you can't even worry and you out here worrying if the mic is on and, somebody out there literally can hear you relieving yourself in the bathroom, and you can't even get 5 minutes away in the bathroom to yourself because there's either a camera or a microphone. That was truly insane. Like, no one really should have go through that. And you know what? It is really crazy how, one, they eliminated Sarah because she lost weight, after considering her to be plus size. And I'm like, that is literally insane, because why couldn't they just pivot her from a plus size model to a regular model? Why did she have to get eliminated? Like, that literally made no sense. Okay, she lost weight would mean she's in the competition with everybody else. She's not different. So why was that a cause for her to, to be eliminated? And I know there was a clip and it was like Nigel Barker was like, oh, you can't enter as a plus size and then no longer be plus size. You literally can. She did it. What was the difference? What was the purpose of that? Crazy work. Also, diabolical work is having Jenna shave her head on national television and then having one of the sponsors for that season be Pantene, the hair company. Like, that's literally diabolical work, because she literally went through all of that, shed all those tears because she was emotional because, she does suffer from alopecia, and then having to expose herself like that to, not only the people in the room, but then to the nation on national television, only for her not to really have a true shot at winning because one of the contracts was with Pantene. Like, literally, they need to pay for their crimes. That is insane. That is diabolical. That is nasty, nasty work. They get to a point and the ladies are talking about, their life after the show and how ultimately, even not winning, their life was supposed to change in some type of manner, right? They thought that the exposure on the show would be good for them in terms of their modeling career, and that was literally not the case. They had the actual adverse effect. Angelique talked about how when she went to show a photographer or an agency her portfolio, and they literally turned their nose up at her like, girl, America's Next Top Model? No. And Lisa also, remember, another agency telling her, yeah, no, they don't work with American Next Top Models contestants because of their relationship to the show. And I'm like, that is crazy. And then to hear Andrew Peterson, literally say that once the show was done, the girls were to just, pick up with their lives where they left off. That is crazy work, because that's not the premise of the show. They went there for a reason. They went there with a goal. Although they may not have won the competition, they should have, left there better than they came into it. Now, imagine walking away from the show. You didn't win the competition. You couldn't even get back on your feet after the show. And then for them to hit you back up, they know your journey, where you are now. They hit you back up, dangle the carrot back in your face again. Like, hey, we're having an all-stars, competition. We would like for you to join. From the outside looking in my opinion, if I was the girls, I probably wouldn't have signed on to all-stars because, like J. Cole said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you, Because if it didn't work out the first time, why would it work out the second time? But I do get that they were in tough places in their lives at the time, and they really thought that, the show would hold up their bargain and, it really be a rebranding for them. And that was not the case at all. Because Angelique ended up winning cycle 17 of All Stars. But, that's something we, the viewers, never got to see, because she was later told that they couldn't air her as the winner. And according to Andrew Peterson, he said he was called into a secret meeting with Tyra and some other people, I believe. And he was told that Angelique went on social media and announced it to somebody that she was the winner after, episode 1. And they're like, they couldn't continue with the show, with the show ending with her winning, because why would the viewers, continue to pay attention if they already know the winner? So they decided to reshoot and then paint Lisa at the, as the winner. And that backfired for her, because instead of, everybody like congratulating her, she was getting dragged, because it seemed like she basically stole the crown from Angelique, because it was revealed later that Angelique was the true winner. So both the girls lost. Nobody ended up on top after that. Angelique did try to, pursue a lawsuit for the show, because, she was the rightful winner and she was deserving of that prize. If she went through all that and she went through all of it and then ended up the winner, she deserved what they promised her. But after, the lawsuit came out, it was revealed, quote unquote, that the reason that they had to reshoot the winner was because of her past as an escort. But according to the girls and other producers, it was a general consensus that everyone on board of the show knew that she had to do what she had to do to get by after cycle 14. After she performed and they literally left her high and dry again for the second time, she had to do what she had to do, and she ended up an escort. But why would y'all let her continue throughout the whole season, win, only to be like, nah, because of your past, you can't be shown as the winner? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I honestly think she really should have pursued that, because she deserved her prize. Because if ultimately y'all knew, everybody knew of her past prior to that, why let her win in the first place? Or why even let her continue on with the competition when she had no shot of winning? Y'all should have been disqualified her. No, once the show was airing and then it was inching towards the finale, y'all like, yeah, no, we have to reshoot that. That was unfair to her. I don't know the statute of limitations on that, but Angelique, you better look into getting that. Go get your prize. Go get what they owed you, girl. Go get it. Watching documentaries such as this, or Quiet on the Set, or Child Star, will forever be disheartening, because of how much, I truly indulge in watching these shows and then having such damaging effects and lasting trauma for some of the people involved. Granted, I was young when, Top Model premiered, and there could probably be a study done on how shows such as this have shaped the lives of so many millennials negatively. It still kind of sucks to see the truth behind it all. And, I'm honestly sending light to Sarah, Angelique, Jenna, and Lisa, who are brave enough to share their experiences with us, and also sending light to all the other past contestants of Top Model who had to, deal with those type of circumstances, and, who may not get the chance to be as vocal as these 4 got to be. Down in the comments, let me know your thoughts of this episode, if you watched it, or just write down your thoughts on the whole discourse behind America's Next Top Model. Were you a viewer of America's Next Top Model, or did you pick it up during quarantine? Until next time, thank you for watching.